but I also see more than just pain. You know, there are so much strength and hope to be found in every story. Hi everyone, my name is Minnie and I am your self-care coach and a licensed therapist here at MINC.Care. I am bringing back Bite-Size podcast because I remember how much I love doing it and how much a lot of the audience actually have benefited from the Bite-Size podcast. And with that, I am introducing a new series called Therapy Wisdoms. So Therapy Wisdom will be a series where we talk about lessons that I've learned in the therapy room, questions that I get asked most in the therapy room, and thought what would be nice to kickstart our first episode is to talk about the number one question that I get asked in and out of therapy room. How therapists actually deal with negative stories or sad stories, which I think is very applicable to everyone else outside of the therapy room. As a therapist, I know that it can be quite hard to listen to painful experiences, struggles that my clients are facing, but I also see more than just pain. There are so much strength and hope to be found in every story. By being more curious, I think one of the main skills that I've learned is to just be curious, right? Be curious, don't assume. When I ask more questions, when I take a more compassionate and empathetic approach, I eventually would hear strength, hope, successes in every story behind that. And it helps, the clients see their experiences don't define them, that the pain don't define them. There are so much more than pain that kind of come together to make this person who they are, and there is always a possibility for growth and healing. And I think that's a very beautiful process to see that happening, and that itself stays with me. And this is why I am doing Therapy Wisdom. This is what inspired me to make this series, because I find so much lessons that I learned in all these stories. I see them as a beautiful piece of art, and especially the courage to go to the therapy room. I think that itself is already a very huge strength for people that goes to the therapy room. Of course, there are also other things that we need to take into account. As therapists, we need to be empathetic towards our clients, but also another thing is we also have to stay grounded enough to journey with our clients so that we don't get sucked into that whole rabbit hole. That's the point of going to therapy, right? You want to see a new perspective. You want someone to hold space for you. So in order to maintain that space, you also need to be very grounded. And how I personally do it is I try to create a safe and supportive space by focusing on their strengths and resilience. So with that, I don't get sucked in too much into the pain. Of course, the pain is very valid, but at the same time, I don't want to discount that strength as well. So by having these two in balance, I think that help me not to get sucked into the negative stories too much. With this approach, I think it's really empowering for people to see that, hey, I know this is hard, but I also have the strength. I possibly may be able to do this way as well. I have that strength and I am hopeful enough, right? So basically just empowering the client to go through or walk through that pain with all the strengths that they also carry with them. Last but not least, definitely you gotta walk the talk. As a therapist, I have to remind myself that I am human too. When I listen to these sad stories, it's okay to feel sad, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel all these big emotions in the therapist room. That is why I do human stuff out of the therapy room. Once again, I am not just a therapist, I'm also a lot of other things as well, and that's what I try to remind myself, not letting just one thing define me, right? So self-care activities like spending time with loved ones, making content like this, it's also quite therapeutic for me, honestly. And also just the day-to-day routine that kind of helps ground me a lot. No matter if you are someone that's hearing those stories or who are having those stories, just remember that you are not defined by just your pain. You are way more than that. So if you have a chance to work with a therapist, I do highly recommend working together with them to find your strength and find your resilience behind those stories. However, if you are the one that is holding space for someone, just know that you have to take care of yourself, stay grounded, remember to fill in your own cup before pouring into others. So thank you for joining me at Therapy Wisdom today. I am really excited to have this out, and I actually feel a little bit jittery filming this because it's been quite a while since I do long form content. I will be quite active on Instagram at MINC.Care. If you ever want to connect, that's the way to go. If you have any therapy questions, please leave it down below at the comment section because that would help inspire my next episode, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.